Efe Obada, how did a Nigerian immigrant abandoned in London end up in the NFL?
Obada again! Oh, she had some kind of game!
Efe Obada was shot out of a cannon.
And man, can he turn that corner.
Not bad for a guy who never played any sport until he was 22.
It's been an emotional roller coaster. This is make or break for me.
We regularly hear about long shots in the NFL. Men who defy the odds to become successful football players. Maybe they overcame an illness, or perhaps they rose out of crippling poverty. But the NFL has never seen a story like this before.
In his first ever NFL regular season game, Panthers defensive end Efe Obada had an interception, tallied a sack, and had a sack fumble overturned on review. It was the game of his life, not because it was his NFL debut, but because there aren't many games from which to choose from.
Okay, Efe, your journey from Nigeria to the NFL is inspiring. Can you tell us a bit about your journey?
Born in Nigeria, he was living in the Netherlands at the age of 10 when he and his sister were trafficked to the UK by someone who was meant to be looking after them.
You know, she wanted us to have a better life. Things just didn't work out the way we planned.
Instead, they ended up abandoned and alone on the strange streets of Hackney in East London. The rest of their childhood became a fight for survival.
You know, that stuff goes on every day and it happens all the time.
The pair stuck together, surviving the rough nights when a kind security guard allowed them to stay in an office block. This new friend provided them with food and a way to contact their mom back home. She arranged for them to stay with a family friend for a while, but soon after they ended up in foster care. Moving from family to family and never staying in one place for too long, at the very least, Efe always had his sister by his side.
You know, I bounced around from home to home, went to school, you know, did everything, did all the traditional stuff, you know, and there was a period in my life where, you know, I got in trouble and I was hanging around the wrong people.
Struggling to get his head around his constantly changing circumstances and the lack of outside help, Obada was shown compassion and given a sense of belonging by a gang near his Stockwell home.
Most of my friends were experiencing similar things, either from the foster care standpoint or, you know, being an immigrant or things like that. So it's just, for me, it was the norm.
It's human nature, he explained to The Guardian in 2019. We all want to belong somewhere, to feel loved, needed, and valued. You look up to the wrong people because you feel they will help you survive.
During Obada's association with a gang, 3 of his close friends were killed in gang wars. Knowing that this was not the life that he had battled through his younger years to attain for himself, Obada knew he had to get out, and so he went for a clean break. He and his girlfriend, now his wife, made the hard decision to put the difficult reality of living in South London behind them.
In 2014, Efe's life changed forever when he ran into an old college friend, Josh. He was surprised to find Josh had taken an interest in American football, and as a result, had bulked up significantly. Josh played for the London Warriors, one of the more successful American football teams in the UK. Curious, Efe went along with Josh to practice and soon discovered he himself had a talent for the game.
His former coach in Britain says Efe first tried out for the London Warriors team while working night shifts as a security guard.
Really a tough upbringing, a tough childhood in his teenage years. The fact he's come through that is a real testament to his character and, you know, and the kind of person he is.
After impressing the Warriors, the team's defensive coordinator Aidan Durd believed it would be worth recommending Efe to the Dallas Cowboys, an NFL team where Durd had previously been an intern. Despite having only played 5 times for the Warriors, Obada had something the Cowboys liked, and they signed him as a free agent.
Worked out for Dallas, and I was in the practice squad with them. The following year I got released, went to Kansas City, and, you know, I got released by them, and then I was with the Falcons, and wasn't able to make the team.
So Efe was actually built really well physically to play in the NFL, but he didn't have the game experience to land him on a permanent team.
Without a team to call home, Efe considered his options.
You know, this thing takes a toll on the people that, you know, support me. It takes a toll on the time apart from my wife and things like that. So I have to think about them as well when I make decisions. This is make or break for me.
Efe had the chance to prove himself once more in the upcoming Pro Player Combine.
The Pro Player Combine is similar to a normal scouting combine, except it's filled with non-vested free agents. So Efe was up against NFL veterans who had been playing in the league for years.
Obada's athleticism was not enough to prevent a rocky start.
Hey, come on, bring it home. At first, I felt a bit down, but just forget that, you recycle that, and then you move on to the next drill.
On the all-important 40-yard dash, you rebounds impressively.
As the combine went on, Efe continued to push himself and turn the heads of a few NFL coaches.
So where are you living, full time?
Well, currently I'm in Boca Raton.
He's not a project anymore. He's a development player, but he's not a project player.
Like I said, just keep working on it, man. Like I said, you have some tools, man.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much. I want to go back to Florida, continue my training, and wait for the next opportunity.
Efe couldn't give up. He was determined to be the best and to find himself a home on an NFL team. He'd climbed so high from the streets of London. He was not about to fall.
Initially, I was kind of trying to do everything, trying to be like everyone, didn't really know what sort of player I am. I should also play to my strengths, work on my power, work on my speed, work on my, those sort of moves, and then kind of base everything around that, work on developing around that.
And it wasn't much longer until all his hard work finally paid off.
We're gonna go to you now, Efe. Carolina Panthers. You are going to the Panthers.
I'm proud of you, baby. Well done.
Thank you.
Are you happy?
I am. It's first round international drafts. Second pick, though, I don't understand why.
Efe finally made it to the NFL, but his work was not done yet, as it was harder than he imagined.
God damn it. Come on, man.
Let that other rep go. Let it go.
Let it go and play the next one.
I don't like losing.
You win some, you lose some.
Nah.
Can't win them all.
Yes, you can.
It makes you perfect.
It's just what we're trying to be, right?
As challenging as it was, Efe was just happy to have finally been accepted into a home. And this home was the NFL.
I'm grateful. Every day I wake up, every day I'm allowed to put on that jersey, every day I'm allowed to walk into the locker room and sit in that room, even down to just every day I'm allowed to eat their food. Still, I'm grateful for that too.
And when the new season started, Efe put all his training into action.
Efe Obada, international player, made the sack on Deshaun Watson.
And the group couldn't have been more excited for him. It was a realization, the fact that he'd arrived. That's the culmination of a lot of hard work.
And after Efe had made it in the NFL, there was one more thing that he wanted to do. He returned back home to London, to the Warriors team that started his career, to give them inspiration to keep going, no matter what the odds.
There is no other person I've ever met in my career who works so hard and who is so dedicated to one sole purpose, and that is to be successful.
After surprising his old teammates, Efe was made honorary captain for their next game. And when his contract with the Panthers was up, though Efe bounced around to other NFL teams, it didn't seem to affect him.
I've been getting these one year contracts, but it's something that I'm used to. Like, I grew up in foster care, you know what I mean? So living out of a suitcase, moving from home to home in different places, I'm familiar with. The benefit of it doing now is that I'm in a place where I want to be.
Today, Efe keeps pushing himself to set an example for future generations.
When I do go home and I get involved with the kids and, the passion that they have for it. And, I picked up the sport fairly late and, you've got these 14, 15, 16-year-old kids just excited about this game.
I can't take this opportunity for granted because so many kids, so many people out there are depending on some of these guys to get to this point and obviously change their lives and change their families' lives.
And no matter where he ends up, he'll continue to write his own future.
You just have to work. Success happens when preparation means opportunity. I got my opportunity and I made the most of it.
In this journey to trying to become an NFL player, I've acquired a lot of skills that I feel like if NFL doesn't work, I can go anywhere and do anything. If I decided today, I'm going to stop NFL and become a lawyer, believe I'll become a lawyer.
Efe has made a career out of making the most out of every opportunity that comes his way.
Just being able to just just being able to provide, you know, and that's on the simplest form, just being able to provide for my family. It's an amazing opportunity. It's an amazing job. It's like, you know, there's thousands of kids everywhere and people that, you know, from the ages of 4 that are doing everything that they can to get to this point. And like I said, it's just being able to be around and still be in the NFL and then still being able to provide for my family. And that's my greatest achievement.